guys, welcome back to Team Inspire's YouTube channel. Today, we're going to be having the first episode in a long series that we're hoping to do called An Introduction to Competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! So, the whole purpose of this video and this whole series is to give players that are looking to get into competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! All the resources they could ever use to break into that next level. This series is going to be for people who have a general understanding of what cards do, what their own cards do, what most cards in the game actually do, most of the rules. You're able to follow along with a duel that's happening between two friends, anything you see at locals, a replay on YouTube that you may see, any game that you're watching on Dueling Book, or any other source you use to play Yu-Gi-Oh! You're able to follow along, but you still don't know everything. So in this series, we're going to touch on all these different topics that I'm going to go over, plus some more. And if there's anything that you guys want to hear, talk about, and have questions on, please feel free to leave a comment. We want to make content you guys want to see. We want to make content that you guys want to talk about. If there's questions you have, we want to answer them. The topics we're going to go over in this series are tournament preparation. We're getting ready for a regional, a YCS, and you just want to know how to prepare for it. What should you be doing? What should you be focusing on? Things like that. Other topics are deck decisions. You want to know what deck you want to play for this event. How do you figure that out? There's so many decks you can play. What's the right one? How did you get to that decision? What cards did you play in that deck? What engine or non-engine are you picking? What side decks cards are you choosing to play? How did you decide those? That's a big one, and we're going to talk about that. Other topic is attitude and mentality in the game. It's a hard game mentally sometimes. It can be pretty demoralizing when you're losing a lot, and it can be really great when you're winning, but then you get that thought of winning and you just keep going, and then you lose. And that can be pretty defeating when you're like starting to lose a lot when you're so used to winning. How do you handle all that attitude and mentality, and how do you move forward? What's the best way to do that? Other things are learning how to prioritize your interactions in the game. You have hand traps, you have non-engine. How do you interact with boards? What's the best way to do that? How did you decide that? Why is it okay to use Ash Blossom at this moment, but it's not okay to use it on the same card in a different moment? How did we come to that decision? You know, sometimes it's easy to say, oh, I have Ash, I'm going to use it. Not always the case. How did we come to that decision, and why did we choose that? And was it correct? That's a big one, and we'll talk about that one in one of the videos. Taking time to learn, play other decks and how they work. Some people just want to stick to their deck, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with saying, I like this deck, I want to keep playing in this deck. Just let's say, for example, me. I've been playing Draco Tail for a very long time. I really enjoy this deck, and I don't really want to play another deck right now. But there's a lot of other decks that are in the meta right now, and I should at least know how to play them, right? I should know how to play them to know what my opponent's going to be doing. What it looks like an awkward hand for my opponent. Okay, my opponent's doing this. Well, that means their hand's bad. How did I know that? Sometimes learning how to play the other deck makes that easier. And you might find another deck you like, and if you don't, that's okay, but you at least know how the opponent's deck works and how you should interact with it, how you can break their board, or if you know you're just not going to win that game. Another big topic is setting achievable goals. When it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh!, the goal should always be improvement. Well, how do you set that goal? We want to say, let's say we want to get our invite first. For a lot of people, getting their invite is a big deal, and that should be an achievable goal for somebody. And to other people, getting an invite's standard. Like, when someone asks, hey, do you have your invite? It should always be yes. How do you set those achievable goals? What's an achievable goal for you, and how do you know when to move to the next goal? Another big topic is reviewing your own gameplay. You just had a long match, 45 minute long match, and you lost. Where could you have played that better? Could it have been played better? Go back and watch, go back and learn, and if it was in person, try to play that back into your head. Where could something have been done better? And ask your opponent. Ask your opponent if you could have interacted better, or what they would have done. Never hurts to ask these questions when your whole goal is just to learn and improve. And if you're playing on a website such as Dueling Book or any other online simulator, there's a replay tab that you can use to go back and check your gameplay. See, was that correct play? And then try to play it back to see if it would have been, if you had done something different, would it have been better? General table rules, best practices that can make meeting someone for the first time a lot easier. I don't know about you guys, I got a lot of general anxiety. I don't like meeting new people, but it's going to happen when you play Yu-Gi-Oh! Not everybody you sit across is going to be your friend from locals that you've played against thousands of times. They're going to be these random people just like you that are just trying to play Yu-Gi-Oh! And do well. So, general table rules and best practices to make your life easier when meeting these people can make the whole time a lot easier and actually help you play better, especially when you're in a more calm, cool environment. I know that works for me. I know that doesn't work for everybody, but it doesn't hurt to talk about that stuff. Like I mentioned at the start of the video, there's going to be a lot of topics we want to cover, and I may have not listed the one you want me to talk about right now. That's okay. Please leave a comment. Tell me what you want us to talk about. We will make that video. Who knows? Maybe yours will be the first one we make after this. So please leave a comment and tell us what you want us to talk about. With that being said, let's get into our first topic for today. First topic we're going to talk about in this series is understanding the current Yu-Gi-Oh! Meta. Now, our goal with this information is so that you can apply it to whenever you're watching this, be it a year from now, be it 2 years from now. We want this information to still be useful for time to come. Now, how do you go about understanding the current Yu-Gi-Oh! Meta? Thankfully, you have a lot of resources at your disposal to figure that stuff out and kind of take what you need and go from there. First thing we have is Dueling Book or any Yu-Gi-Oh! Simulator. Let's go and see what people are playing. So we have the Duel Room. Here we can see all different formats. Yeah, the rated, unrated, Genesis format that we're not going to talk about. At the top of the rated, you can see these are higher rated duelists and most likely playing meta decks. So let's go ahead and take a look. Looks like we have Vanquish Soul, one of the more popular decks this format, K9 Vanquish Soul, versus not really sure what they're playing. But we can be safe to say that this is going to be a meta versus meta deck. So you can kind of get an idea of what people are playing based off of what you see on Dueling Book as far as high rated goes. Other options you have at your disposal is Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro Deck.com. Now, what exactly is this? This is a source that has all the different decks that have topped all these different events, from regionals to YCSs from all across the world, and what those people played, what cards they played, everything. So let's go ahead and take a look. Looks like there's a lot of branded Draco Tail, Magistus branded Draco Tail, Radiant Typhoon Tri-Brigade. Looks like Doom Z at some event. Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh! China City Tour, so you have some OCG stuff in here. Branded, Azumina Yummy. You have a lot of different things being given to you here, and it gives you all the information you could possibly want. And let's go ahead and click on those things. So, first one is Team YCS La Paz. Branded Draco Tail, piloted by Christian Urena. It tells you everything that you could possibly want to know. It also tells you all the topping decks for that event. So we can go here and actually see all the decks that top this event in this 3v3 tournament. Now, we can also look at the event and see how many duelists were there. 255, one of the smaller YCSs. I think that might be actually the smallest. And what those people played. So we have Yummy Tri-Brigade, Draco Tail, looks like Despia branded Draco, no Draco Tail cards, just Despia branded. Yummy Vanquish Soul. Looks like we have 3 Yummy Fiendsmith. Looks like we have Malice, Mermail, and Draco Tail. Fire King somehow stuck in there. Direct Fire King. Team of all Draco Tail, branded Draco Tail. So you're being given a lot of information here, and all this information is kind of telling you what the meta is looking like. But let's say this is a little overwhelming for you guys. We have a great resource here called the Format Spreadsheet. There's a great man named Ivan Campos out there who puts all the topping decks from all over the world and puts them in a spreadsheet and gives us the information broken down each week. We can see here each week we have back from the 300th YCS everybody who topped that event, from top 8, top 64, 32. You'll see what deck they played, if there was a sub-engine in there, the YouTube link to their YouTube deck profile, and the Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro link. Sometimes it's not available because maybe that person didn't give that information to everybody. Maybe we couldn't get that information. Who knows? But this is there. And I personally like to look at this the most. For me, this information is way easier to understand, way easier to navigate, and helps me pick out what is the meta and what is, a rogue deck. I'm not saying that a rogue deck can't do well, just saying that this is going to be a good idea of what your meta is going to be looking like. So let's go ahead and look at this last week, for example. Seems we got a lot of Yummy, got some Vanquish Soul, some Radiant Typhoon, a couple Memento, and a Sky Striker. Going down to this regional, you have some more Yummy, another Sky Striker, Dragon Tail, Magnet Warrior Fiendsmith, a Magistus Draco Tail, White Force Azumina. Going into the next event, you can keep breaking this down through every event, and you can kind of pick out what the meta is going to look like. For this event, we have Draco Tail, Yummy, Odeon, Draco Tail, Gem Knight, Vanquish Soul, Yummy, and then Draco Tail. Hey, that's me. You can kind of get an idea of what your meta is going to be looking like, and when you see more repetition, that kind of molds it. But you can also see other options that you can be playing. So, for example, we got a couple Memento. That's obviously not as topping as, say, Draco Tail and Yummy. That doesn't mean you won't play against it. You can just expect it a lot less. You have a Magnet Warrior Fiendsmith, got a Dedede, a couple Sky Striker, Odeon, Gem Knight. All of these decks are topping, but they're also not as common as some of the others. So you can kind of get an idea of what's rogue, what's meta, and plan accordingly. Another great resource you have at your disposal is YouTube. YouTube I use all the time to watch replays, just the standard matches. Usually I go to our good friend here, DB Grinder, who posts tons of replays of well-known players. We have Ryan Yu, Triff Gaming, Julian Kahn, all these great players that you can go and watch replays from. He'll go over, do commentary of what's going on, explain what they're doing, and give his input on. And good place to go to learn, not just the meta, but proper play. See if you can figure out the misplays in some of these videos. See if you can understand why people made the plays they did. DB Grinder's YouTube, plus tons of other YouTubers, are a great resource to learn your meta, learn how to play the game, and get a better idea of what to do at a competitive level. Wrapping up the video here, let's do a quick recap. These are all the things that I personally use every day, every week to learn the meta and keep the update as to what people are playing and what I should expect when going to any event. I will almost always be on Dueling Book, except the time right now when I just timed out during this recording. I'll always be on Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro Deck, seeing what people played, seeing if this is a list I want to try out and learn. I'm always on the spreadsheet at least once a week, trying to see what people have played, get quick links to it, get quick links to the YouTube, and see if there's anything that I could have been doing differently, comparing my list to their list, seeing if there's a one-off card that I wasn't prepared for that could be in somebody's deck, all this stuff. Also, I'll watch YouTube every day. I'll watch every DB Grinder video that comes around just to have something to watch, see if there's anything I can learn from it. These are all the resources that you yourself have at your disposal to understand the meta at every point of when you're playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And whenever you're watching this video. And if there's something that you use personally that I didn't cover in this video, please share with us. Share with everyone in the comments. Let us know what you use to keep up to date in the current meta, and see if that's something that you would want to talk about. Thank you guys so much for watching today. It really does mean the world that you took your time to watch our video, and even if you're not a new competitive player and you've been playing for 10, 20 years, who knows, that time you took to watch our video does mean the world, and we really appreciate it. If you have any suggestions for future videos, please leave a comment. Even if it's not a part of this series, we want to know what you guys want to watch. We really want to build this YouTube into something that's not just deck profiles of topping lists. We want this community to grow. We want to give back to you guys and show the love that you've shown us over the years. Lastly, shout out to our sponsors, Villain Guard, Card Haven, and Tenfold. And thank you guys so much for watching. As always, stay inspired.